Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to learn about the builder pattern. This will be the fourth design pattern that we are going to learn in Typescript. We will learn how to implement this design pattern, and we will also know what is the significance of it, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and we will also know about the interview question. Alright, so let's start with this. So what is the builder pattern? Builder pattern deals with simplifying the process of creating complex objects. So see, what happens is that builder is a creation design pattern that you can use to deal with a step-by-step construction of objects that can have multiple future representations. Okay, so yeah, quite often you create objects that take more than two or three parameters, and many of those parameters are not known ahead of the time. They are required to initialize the object at the right state. Hence, we might have some complex objects for a variety of reasons. For example, let's say there's a business domain. I mean, in a business domain, we might want to attach several cohesive attributes to the object for easier access. Or in other cases, we might have a conceptual class model such as a user model or a product model, or maybe a query string. So initially we can have only one implementation of the class, but when we want to create more than one, we will end up repeating ourselves. There will be a lot of duplicated code. In order to prevent this, we use the builder pattern. Like more examples are a common set of steps to create an object. So we might want to provide an interface with common steps to create an object that is not tied to any implementation. Those steps should be independent and should always return a usable object when requested. Apart from that, we can also use this pattern for multiple representations. We can have multiple representations of one object, maybe as multiple different, what to say, variants of that. So a user, user can be an admin user or a sales user, marketing user, or a manager or whatever. Okay. So this is what it is. Now we will see how to implement this pattern. We are going to see the most modern implementation of the builder pattern, how it is being implemented in modern TypeScript. There are old implementations as well using classes, but yeah, we have to go with the flow. So implementation of the builder pattern. Oh, sorry. All right. So first we create a tag, export type builder. That will take a generic. This generic will be an object. I will explain you later why. And now k, which will be a key in key of t. Yeah, chances might not exist. We add this hyphen and question mark argument. What is the type of argument? So the type of key in this t object, the type of key in this t object will be the type of this argument. Okay. So what will happen? This will return this builder only. And build, there will be a build method as well. This will return the object itself. Okay. So let me tell you what I did here. We created a type. Okay. So in this type, I mean, just taking the object. It can be any object, whatever you want to build actually. And then there will be definitely some properties in this object. So K will be represented by the properties. Let me write K is key or property inside the object T. which we are we are building T. Okay, in order to build T, we are implementing this build pattern, and now there are chances that these keys might not exist. I mean, different builders will have different properties. So that's why we added this thing just for exception handling. This will take an argument whose type is the type of this property in this object. It will return the builder itself. And now it also has one method build. This build method will return the object itself, the build object. Okay, let's create our function now. Nowadays, I mean, more functional programming is being used in JavaScript and TypeScript. So that is how these design patterns are being implemented. We will learn how to implement this using the function programming. Export function model builder T, and what it will return builder self. And now const build. So this will be a record. The records are the immutable objects in TypeScript. Okay, in case anyone does not know, you are just creating an immutable object. So see, string and unknown. It means that this build thing will have a string key and an unknown value. Okay, we don't know the type of value because we are here for the flexibility. And now builder const builder new proxy. Okay, now what is this thing? What is this proxy? See, ES6 introduced the proxies. Okay, and these proxies were introduced so that you can implement these patterns. You will know the usage of this in quite a while. So now here we create one object. Okay, we pass one empty object as the first parameter. If you hover over this, see, create a proxy object. So allows you to create an object that can be used in place of original object, but which may redefine fundamental object operations like getting, setting. All right, now you understood. First one is the target, is an empty object, second is a handler. So if this handler, we will have a getters and setters and all. We'll have a get method, target, prop, and if the value of prop is built, if the prop is built, so return the built object. When you are building, this will return the built object. Otherwise, return any x parameter. We don't know what it is, what they are going to do. We literally don't know. Definitely, it will return something unknown. Now, built, we are setting a prop. Now, see the built object you see currently is empty object. Now we are setting a key to it because we are passing an unknown property. An unknown property, we don't know what it is. Equals to x. Why? Why x? You see, the record of string and unknown. We don't know what is the type of the value. It can be any type. It can be an array, it can be a string, it can be a number, it can be a big integer or whatever it can be. Okay. This provides you flexibility to implement your pattern. Now, also, you should not use the any type. Okay, you cannot keep it as any. Using any type means not using TypeScript. Simple words. Now, what you return? Return the builder. It's quite simple. And now at the very end, return builder. But we are having some error. See, type this is not assignable to type this blah blah. What will you do in this case? As builder T. Typecasting. Guys, this is how you do the typecasting in Typescript. Okay. This was the empty object, but now since it is returning as this, the type that we created now, it has the properties that will exist in this. All right. Now comes the real thing. Now we are going to use this interface. Let's say user. User has an ID or ID, let's say number, and name will be string, email will be string. Okay. So const user equals to model builder user. What did I just do now? Can anyone tell me what did I just do? What is this user seed? This is taking a generic seed. So currently this T is this object. You can pass any other object as well. Dot ID 1. Dot name Lucky. Dot email test at dev dot whatever. And build. What did just happen, guys? See, here in this interface, you see that these are the properties. Now you are able to use it here. Dot ID, dot name, this, that. And you only had the build. So you see the implementation of this. Since we use the proxy, so if build is the property, then it will return a build object. Otherwise, it will set this prop. So this, the ID you are passing now is being set as a prop inside this build object. And that is the reason why you are able to chain these methods. This is known as method chaining anyways, in case anyone does not know. Now what we do, console.log user. Okay. As you can see, it worked. See guys, it literally worked. Let's run through our code once again. We created a type. It can have any kind of key. It may exist, it may not exist. It has argument, and then it will return this builder. Okay, and it also has a build method. Now this function whose return type is builder T. Okay, and we created a built object, the object that will be finally built by us. And then we utilize the ES6 proxies. I already told you what is the proxy that allows you to create an object, but also provides you with getters and setters methods. Okay, so the object created by proxy will behave like the original object only, but with more properties. Okay, think of it like you have a proxy. You want to do something, you do it by someone else. So in the same way, you can think. We are not using this thing anyway. And yeah, if the property that what we have passed, if it is built, then build it. Otherwise, set it to this. That's how it works. You set the prop, you pass email, email will be set to this. You pass name, name will be set to this object, and the value will be unknown. It can be string, number, or whatever. You return the builder, this builder. And now we will return builder, as this one. Because of this one, we are able to chain our methods. Otherwise, it will throw an error because this was just an empty option. Anyway, so that is what about builder pattern is. That is how we implement this. And now let's go to the interview questions. So the first interview question can be, when do you use the builder pattern? Seriously, when do we use it? The answer is when we need a common set of steps to create an object, when we need a common set of steps to create an object. So let me explain this. Let's say you have an interface and now you are creating an object out of it, and then those steps you want should be independent. Okay. And what happens is that with every return type of the object, you want it to be reusable. So in that case, you can use the builder pattern. Second thing is multiple representations. Now see, what is this one? Now multiple representation, you have an object. Let's say you created a product. Now you created a car. Okay, the car is the product. It can have multiple representations. A car can be a high-speed car and a normal car as well. Or it can be a mid-range car as well. I mean, not so good speed, but yeah, quite high class. Multiple representations of just one car. In that case, you can use the builder pattern as well. Okay. Now, apart from that, they will ask you that what are the disadvantages or criticisms of builder pattern. So, the disadvantages or criticisms of builder pattern are, you need a concrete builder for each representation. See, a now what happens is that you had a car as a product, you can have multiple cars. What if you wanted to have a rocket, you wanted to have a bike? You will need to have different builders for that. To create different representation, you need to write and maintain distinct builder. This can become a maintenance issue. If you are only creating a builders to differ only in one property, it's best in this case to provide a general builder for most of the cases and either use a director to create a complex object. Okay, this is one thing. Now, side effects. What are these? We will need to avoid side effects when creating objects such as network requests or those that require OS access. Now, this can be very expensive. Let's say you are doing network request by this and also by this. If you had a network request here, by every call, every time that network request would have been called. Okay, this is the big mistake that we can make. In order to prevent this, we should always keep our network request or anything that can be a side effect away from. And now, complicated implementation. Complicated implementation means, see, now if you go through this, if you are a beginner in TypeScript or you are just, I mean, average in TypeScript, you will really find a hard time implementing on your own. You will always have to copy paste, which we developers usually do. But again, what if your use case was entirely different? It does require the builder pattern, but there are a lot of customizations as well. You will need to have an extremely good knowledge of TypeScript in order to be well through with it. So yeah, these are some disadvantages which can be asked in an interview. Now they can ask you what are some real world examples. Real world examples. See, the very first example is the Lodash library in JavaScript. What does it have to do with the Lodash library? See, Lodash library offers you the chaining, okay, method chaining. Something we did right here, right? Dot ID, dot name, dot email, dot build. The same way, Lodash also offers you method chaining, and this is only possible because of its builder pattern internally. Okay. Now, apart from that, the another example what we can see is, let's say you are building a product that always has at least one concrete implementation. You are building a car, you are building a bike. You can have any product that has one concrete implementation. In this case, you can use as well. So yeah, these are the interview questions in which we learned about when do we use, what are disadvantages, and what are some real world examples as well. We learned about the implementation of builder pattern as well in a modern way. Yeah. Thanks for watching this video. Bye.